September 11, 2021 marks 20 years since the United States experienced one of the deadliest days in the country's history with the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center, Pentagon, and in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. Yet despite the tragedy of that day, heroic images of first responders answering the call of duty gave a grieving nation hope. The courage and sacrifice of U.S. soldiers, sailors, and Marines who fought in two major combat theaters allowed citizens to regain their sense of security and unity as a nation. Today, there is a museum and memorial at Ground Zero in New York City. The phrase "never forget" was echoed once more when construction began on three U.S. Navy ships: USS New York, USS Arlington, and USS Somerset. Two of those ships, USS New York and USS Arlington, are homeported in Hampton Roads at Naval Station, Norfolk. On Tuesday, September 11, 2001, the United States was attacked by militant jihadists of the multinational terrorist organization known as Al-Qaeda. That morning, two planes departed Boston, heading for California. The first plane, which departed at 7:59 a.m., was American Airlines Flight 11. On board were 11 crew and 81 passengers. At 8:14 a.m., United Airlines Flight 175 departed with 9 crew and 56 passengers. It is uncertain exactly when the hijackers took control of the aircraft, but at 8:46 a.m., Flight 11 hit the North Tower of New York City's World Trade Center near the 80th floor. 17 minutes later, Flight 175 hit the South Tower of the World Trade Center. At 9:45 a.m., a third plane, American Airlines Flight 77 with 64 people on board, crashed into the Pentagon's West Wing, killing all aboard as well as 125 people on the ground. Within 15 minutes, the South Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed. The North Tower fell 30 minutes later. Less than an hour into its flight from Newark Liberty International Airport, a fourth plane, United Flight 93, was hijacked. While there is significant speculation as to its intended target, the plane never reached it. Having received word of the earlier events of the day, the passengers and crew fought back against the hijackers, ultimately preventing the plane from reaching its objective. Instead, at 10:10 a.m., Flight 93 crashed into a field in Shanksville in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. All 44 passengers were killed. In total, 2,974 people lost their lives in the attacks that day, and approximately 4,000 first responders have since died from 9/11 related medical conditions. The U.S. response to the attacks was immediate. U.S.-led coalition forces launched an international military operation referred to as the Global War on Terrorism. On October 7, 2001, Operation Enduring Freedom began. The primary mission was driving the Taliban out of Afghanistan, thus preventing the use of the country as a safe haven and training ground for Al-Qaeda. Of equal importance was locating and apprehending Osama bin Laden, the mastermind behind the September 11th attacks. While the Taliban regime was toppled within months, fighting raged on as terrorist cells continued operating throughout Afghanistan and Pakistan. In May 2011, U.S. Special Forces killed Osama bin Laden during a raid. Soon afterward, the U.S. and allied militaries began the long process of withdrawing troops from the region. In March 2003, coinciding with operations in Afghanistan, U.S., British, and Polish forces invaded Iraq. Within weeks, Iraq's capital city, Baghdad, was captured from Saddam Hussein and his government collapsed. In 2006, Hussein was captured, put on trial, and executed. Following Saddam Hussein's removal from power, an insurgency began to grow from the remnants of Hussein's Ba'ath Party, aided by Al-Qaeda-linked groups. U.S. combat operations continued in Iraq until 2010. While the U.S. played an active role in both major theaters of operation, at home a different yet compatible mission was underway. Soon after the terrorist attacks, at the request of New York Governor George E. Pataki, Secretary of the Navy Gordon R. England assumed the task of building a ship that carried the city's name as a dedication to both the heroes and victims of 9/11. In 2003, Northrop Grumman Ship Systems accepted the contract to build the 5th San Antonio-class amphibious transport dock, USS New York. Built in New Orleans, Louisiana, the ship was commissioned on November 7, 2009 in New York City. The ship's motto is, "Strength forged through sacrifice. Never forget." USS Arlington, named in honor of Arlington County, Virginia, is the second ship to be launched in remembrance of 9/11. Arlington County is the location of the Pentagon, which was struck by American Airlines Flight 77. It is the 8th San Antonio-class ship. Built by Northrop Grumman Ingalls Shipbuilding in Pascagoula, Mississippi, the ship was commissioned on February 8, 2013. Its motto is, "Strength, Honor, Fortitude." USS Somerset is the 9th San Antonio-class amphibious transport dock. It was named after Somerset County, Pennsylvania, where United Airlines Flight 93 crashed. Like USS New York, it was built by Northrop Grumman Ship Systems in New Orleans, Louisiana. It was commissioned on March 1, 2014. The ship's motto is, "Courage through adversity." As important as these ships are to our memory of 9/11, it is important to remember that these vessels are crucial to the Navy's overall mission. More essential than the ships themselves are the sailors who serve aboard.